What is grief? Baby, don't hurt me no more. No, that line last week from Vision, what is grief if not love persevering? Such a solid line. I mean, it just really expresses something so universal in such a succinct way. But man, don't they give Vision all the best lines in the MCU? I still to this day will quote that line from Age of Ultron where he says, "A thing isn't beautiful because it lasts." I constantly quote that line, both seriously and just kind of ironically, depending on the situation, but it's a good reminder of not holding on to things and, learning to move on and just, accepting that life is life and things happen. And if only given one word to describe WandaVision, I would say it's beautiful. And not because it's going to last. In fact, episode 9, this episode, is the series finale. At least that's the title of the episode, which I kind of suspected. I don't think that's tongue-in-cheek. I think this is the series finale. I think these are meant to be limited series for Marvel. I can't see them trying another season of this. With this being the last episode of this season and or series, I feel like it'd be appropriate to make predictions, although most of my predictions this season have been wrong, but it's been fun making them anyway. It's fun to be wrong when you're wrong in a way that results in something that you actually enjoy, because I have enjoyed all the twists and turns of this show. It seems like the only things that I've been right, or at least close to right on, have been things that were more thematic based rather than plot or story details. My best example is that I think I called from episode 1 or 2 the reason why the sitcom trope in this show. And that was because I figured, well, she was probably watching the reruns of these shows when she was a kid because she had a really rough childhood and this was her escape. So she was turning to the sitcom world for nostalgia and for the comfort of that. I think I called that pretty much right away. So I'm glad that paid off in that way. But in terms of just story beats and like plot reveals, I've been pretty much wrong on everything. I never would have guessed that they were going to revisit the snap, but I'm glad they did because that was an amazing episode, episode 4. Like I said in previous episodes, I like seeing the aftermath of the snap. I think that was such a big moment in the MCU that, I'm willing to watch it from a dozen different angles. It's compelling every time. But yeah, anyway, predictions. You know what? Humor me, but I am just going to make a few more predictions for this last episode, and they'll probably be wrong, but that's going to be fine. I think my first prediction is going to be that whatever this final fight is, whether it's, against White Vision or Agnes or the both of them somehow, I think that Wanda and Vision are going to be overpowered and that they're going to need some extra firepower, and it's going to come in the form of the twins aging themselves up. I think they're going to become either, if not adults, at least teenagers in this episode, and that's going to help them, the 4 of them, fight against whatever this final fight is going to be. Will there be any cameos from outside of the show, other MCU characters? I don't think so. I feel like that would have been hinted at by now. I think this is going to be pretty contained. This story overall has been pretty self-contained. I mean, aside from having supporting characters from other MCU movies, they were pretty all well integrated into the show, and they felt natural once they were in the show. Now they feel like they're a part of the show. So I don't think there's going to be any sort of big outside cameos. It just seems like that's not what this show has been about so far. And last prediction, what happens with the 2 visions? Will these 2 visions be merged? Will it be a case where one of these visions survives and the other doesn't? It would make the most thematic sense and have the biggest impact, I think, if Wanda's vision doesn't survive this. This whole show has been about loss and grief and trauma, and I don't know how well it fits in with that if at the end of the day she gets to keep this person that she lost. I mean, I know she still had the trauma of losing her family, and so that still resonates, but I don't know. It's like this show doesn't feel like a happy ending type of show, despite the whole sitcom premise where happy endings rule the day. But that's what we're here to find out. This is the series finale. Let's go ahead and get into it. Episode 9 of WandaVision, the series finale, starts now. Picking up right where we left off. She just absorbed some of her power, didn't she? Very horror movie. It's kind of a callback to Civil War. She did that to Iron Man. Oh, here he is. Here we go.
Where are the boys?
Vision v. Vision. Dawn of Synthezoids. Wanda, why did you say that name?
Who are you gonna choose, Wanda?
Now that guy.
Brad, babe? We can hear you from in here.
chapter devoted to you in the dark hole? That's the book of the damned.
The dark hole.
She has no coven, no need for incantation.
I'm not a witch. I don't cast spells. No one taught me magic.
Your unreasonable. Wanda? Dottie.
My name's Sarah. I have a daughter. She's 8. Really anything. If you could just let her out of her room. If I could just hold her.
You're making her say this. She's your meat puppet. I just cut her strings.
Wanda's gonna have to deal with the ethics of what she's been doing this whole time. I think he is Ralph. It is Ralph. That's hilarious.
You're fine. You're all going to be fine.
You let us sleep. We have your nightmares.
No, that's not true.
Breaking the hex? Yep.
This is it. We're going in.
Now do you see?
Ooh.
You tied your family to this twisted world, and now one can't exist without the other.
Just can't let go.
But I'm not the true vision. Only a conditional vision. I request elaboration.
It's very Vision for the final battle of two visions to be for them to just talk it out.
I have a vision.
Oh, what'd she do? Protection spell? She put a protection spell on the hex?
No!
It's happening.
Oh, God. You don't know what you've done.
Your mother and I, very proud of you both.
Very proud. Boys. Thanks for choosing me to be your mom.
But before I go, I feel I must know. What am I?
You are my sadness. And my hope. But mostly you're my love.
I have been a voice with no body. A body but not human, and now a memory. We have said goodbye before, so it stands to reason.
We'll say hello again.
So long, darling.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
You don't hate me. Given the chance and given your power, I'd bring my mom back. I don't understand this power, but I will. Good luck.
I'm just kind of speechless, honestly. That was a great ending. It stuck the landing thematically. It made sense. There was no unnecessary cameos, no unnecessary sort of just left field shenanigans. It just stuck to what it was about from the beginning and stuck the landing. That was phenomenal. It still managed to do the MCU thing of opening up possibilities for further stories. I think people like to cynically say that these movies and shows are just advertisements for the next movie or show. I don't look at it that way. I mean, it makes sense that if you have this long-form story that you're going to want to set up parts of your long-form story in every part. It would just kind of feel like piecemeal and like you were making it up as you were going along if you didn't at least seed moments, you know?
Sent by an old friend of your mother's. Where?
Uh-oh. She wasn't lying when she said she was going to try to understand her power. To quote Blink-182, where do we go from here? Yeah, like I was saying earlier, there's people who like to complain about how much these MCU movies, how much they seed future movies in the storylines of the current movie, and like, how can you be mad at that when they do tell complete stories within a movie? There are arcs and every plot point is paid off and it's a complete story. It just happens to hint at other stories. And that's fine. That's a long form story. Like I said, it would just feel sort of unplanned if you didn't start to advance future stories within the current story. It feels good to know that this is being thought out in advance. It's very refreshing, and I think that's part of the reason why this franchise is so successful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see where the MCU goes from here, where Wanda's story goes from here. We've got a Rogue Vision out there somewhere. I'm guessing that Wanda's vision probably sort of transplanted his, if not just his memories, maybe even just copied it over his entire consciousness into that vision. So when they say that they'll say hello again, that's probably how it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when and where is that going to happen. Future of the MCU is bright, and after a year and a half off with no new movies, I'm excited to see where the MCU goes from here. If you like this video and you want more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and remember to ring the bell for notifications. That's important. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode, this entire season. What are your thoughts on the MCU going forward? Like I said, it's exciting times. Anyway, my name is AJ. This is Good Movies and Music. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.